Wrestling fans, we are 13 nights away from the Royal Rumble. We are 13 nights away from WrestleMania season. And WWE tonight promoted change. Gave us, in their sense, their eyes, change. Now, to the wrestling fans, did we see change tonight? Maybe the Jason Fundy we saw change. But
what's that supposed to mean?
To the majority of us wrestling fans out there,
now I'm a fan.
We did not. I'm just going to be point blank. I don't care if we saw Nikki Cross debut on Monday Night Raw, which, quite frankly, the way she was acting, I would much rather her been with Sandy on SmackDown Live.
Maybe.
That would have made more sense, and that added a nice dynamic to Sandy, and hopefully would have given them an interesting push on SmackDown.
Push.
Seeing how SmackDown, up until last week, actually cared about their tag team division, at least there for a few weeks. I don't care if WWE brought out heavy machinery during the Paul Heyman segment of Moment with Bliss. I really could care less. When I saw Almighty Cringely win the Intercontinental Championship, I got up, I went to the bathroom, I got something to eat, I got something to drink, I turned the TV on mute, I wanted to turn the television off, and if it wasn't for the main event, which I had a pretty good idea that Finn Balor was going to win, I would have stopped watching Monday Night Raw tonight, quite frankly. Because the fact that Bobby Lashley is the Intercontinental Champion and WWE is thinking that this is change makes me want to... Now, Jason Funny, with my opening thoughts of Monday Night Raw tonight... What are your opening thoughts of Monday Night Raw?
Does it really matter? Because you did a whole monologue.
What's your opening thoughts of Monday Night Raw?
There ain't much has changed except that,
I think
the sponsor.
Yes, the sponsor. I forgot about the sponsor. Golden Crisp. We're going back to the 80s, 1995, when things was made and sponsored by karate fighters. Yes, we're going back to that era. The Royal Rumble this year is sponsored by Golden Crisp. If we're going to have cereal, why can't we have something that's actually tastes like extraordinary? Try Captain Crunch.
Yum.
Something like that.
Crunch
but whatever.
Berries.
I remember when we had some really
Cocoa Fruity Pebbles.
Yes, it's something. But anyway, getting off the sponsor thing, because that made me cringe too. What did you think about Monday Night Raw tonight? I know you had some interesting thoughts about the revival and Lucha House Party.
That was like... that was, what do you call it? What, cringe?
Yes.
That was not even cringeworthy. I mean, that was a sorry match. It wasn't even worthy to be even cringe.
To coin a phrase that you say, or the quote Jason Funny this tonight, you say that, now I know why the ratings are below a 2.0.
What? I didn't say that. What we're talking about. I didn't say that.
You did too. You did say that during that matchup.
I did.
And you know what? How they ended that match. How they ended that contest. You know what that means, wrestling fans? We're going to see the same match next week. Lucha House Party versus the Revival. Guarantee we'll see that next week. Now you tell me, is there any of you out there that are joy juicy about that?
Gosh.
Guarantee. None of you. None of you. And if you are, I don't know why. But anyway, let's run down this show, shall we? Let's go through Monday Night Raw, 13 nights away from one of the most exciting events WWE has ever created, the Royal Rumble. Braun Strowman opens up the show, and he comes out, and he's proclaiming that Brock Lesnar has always been afraid of me. If it wasn't for Baron Corbin, then Brock Lesnar would have lost at the World Cup tournament.
Yeah,
the World Cup tournament. Sorry, Braun Strowman.
Let's call him Big Show.
It was crown jewel.
He messed up.
He did mess up.
He screwed up, folks.
Yes, he did. Those of you that didn't catch that, go back and watch if you think it's worth watching.
I bet he got chewed out by Vince.
But anyway, so after he ran down all this garbage about how Brock Lesnar's scared of him and that, and Braun Strowman should have beaten him all these times, Braun Strowman then was greeted by Baron Corbin himself. If we've seen one Baron Corbin, Braun Strowman clip, we've seen them all. Braun Strowman standing there and Baron Corbin saying, well, you know, I'm not in charge anymore, yes, because you got fired. Back and forth with this garbage for a little while.
A month ago.
And then the next thing we know, Braun Strowman's chasing Baron Corbin. And then we see Elias telling in a song where Baron Corbin is. In Mr. McMahon's limo. Now, this did make me laugh a little bit. Don't think I'm going to come on here and just cringe and gripe and moan and groan and complain the entire time I am on this Raw review. Okay, folks? And by the way, if you haven't done so already, scroll down and hit that subscribe button and hit the bell for all notifications. Join me on my journey right here on YouTube and go to your channel as well. What is it?
It's Almost Live with Jason Funny 42 channel. Just type in on the on YouTube. Just type in Almost Live with Jason Funny. It'll pop. My channel will pop right up.
Good. A lot of good content over on that channel as well. But to continue on with the Braun Strowman segment, he goes over to Mr. McMahon's limo and pretty much rips the entire thing apart. Smashes the window in, rips the door off. We all know what's coming. Mr. McMahon will be standing there all shocked and everything like this. You know, looking all weird. Yeah.
What you did to my limo that I purchased for really cheap just for the show.
Right. So Next thing we know, $100,000. Braun Strowman is
Holy cow! I don't make that in 10 years.
fined. And
Wow.
next thing we know, he's ejected from the Universal Championship title matchup. Couple different ways you can look at this, folks. Okay, wrestling fans. I was actually happy, excited, thrilled when I heard this. Because I think universally, as a whole, the majority of the wrestling fans out there have been giving WWE negative response about Braun Strowman receiving another opportunity. Now, we all knew what was going to happen. No matter who faced Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble, right?
Right.
And did Braun Strowman really need to face him again?
No, not really. Gosh.
I mean,
how many times do you repeat yourself?
And even with what the story they were telling, there is nothing WWE could do to make us believe that he had a chance in beating Brock Lesnar.
That's right.
So, best thing in the world, him being yanked from that match. Now, he tipped over the limo. Let me make this clear. Okay? If something comes out on the internet that says, because WWE has done some stupid writing before that look kind of interesting, and then something comes out that somebody's hurt or something like that. So, if Braun Strowman tips over this limo, and then something comes out on the internet that Braun Strowman's actually too hurt to compete at the Royal Rumble, can you imagine all the backfire WWE's going to get just because of that one limo segment on Monday Night Raw? And besides, let's be honest here. Enough is enough is enough. There is no saving Brock Lesnar and Braun Strowman. Nothing ever again. Brock Lesnar, there's no saving him. He's done. Come WrestleMania, take title off of him. And if he's in WWE, still never put the title on him again. Braun Strowman, no matter how many limos he tips over, no matter how many ambulances he tips over, sets, Titantrons he pulls down, no matter how many freaking porta potties he throws Kevin Owens off the stage in, he will never come back from what damage WWE has done to him. He just won't. Ronda Rousey and Sasha Banks took on Nia Jax and Tamina. Do you care about this?
Nope. I'm not being.
Why not?
Because none of my favorites. Because I'm kind of more interested in the women on SmackDown a little bit better.
You are a Charlotte fan.
What? The Queen?
Just be honest.
I'm probably true to her than I am anybody right now.
Now, I'll say this. Rousey and Banks versus Nia Jax and Tamina. The match wasn't anything. It was what happened after the match that was actually more important.
Yep.
But, you say yep and nod your head, but really you could care less.
That is not true.
But anyway, Rousey and Banks, it was all about who's going to make the other one tap out. And showing an aggressive side out of Sasha Banks, because Ronda Rousey kind of belittled her to some degree tonight. Because, quite frankly, look, we all know her 4 championship title reigns have been a joke. I hate saying it,
not very
but
funny
they have.
Joke.
It's not funny. It's not a funny joke, but they have been a joke. Now, at the Royal Rumble, I hope they go in there and have a great contest. Rousey definitely going to win, but I hope it is a great contest. About all I can say about it. It's really a match that was just there for the segment afterwards. Lucha House Party versus the Revival. We already went over that. The Revival did pick up the victory. So what? Who cares? Both teams pretty much irrelevant. And honestly, I wish the Revival would have gotten the tag team championship when they faced the glorious Bobby Roode.
Glorious!
And Chad Gable.
Glorious!
The last time around. Jinder Mahal took on Finn Balor. This came about because Finn Balor was supposed to prove himself to the almighty Vincent McMahon. Mr. McMahon never has believed in Finn Balor. Stated it. And that was his way of getting into the Fatal 4-Way tonight. Finn Balor beats Jinder Mahal. We all knew it was going to happen. Okay, so what? Nikki Cross. I'm not going over a 6-woman tag team match. I already told you really what I thought about Nikki Cross. Really kind of a scary, crazed type superstar in the women's division. I know I'm repeating myself, but she really deserves to be Insanity on SmackDown. Why in the world is she on Monday Night Raw? Unless she ends up being with the Riot Squad.
She can't kill the ratings.
Which wouldn't make any sense right now because she was just in a tag team match against the Riot Squad. This makes 0 sense. 0. Whatever. WWE for you. But what do I know? Bobby Lashley versus Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins. The one thing that I will say about Bob. Sorry, we don't say his name on this channel. It is Almighty Cringely.
Webby's the new Intercontinental Champion.
The new Intercontinental Champion. The one person on the entire roster that does not deserve it. I would rather have Heath Slater and all his kids being the Intercontinental Champion.
Gosh, you got hatred.
No.
Be hating.
I don't hate Bobby.
Yeah.
I don't hate Almighty Cringely, but he sucks.
He's pretty good. I mean, honestly, he doesn't suck that bad or he wouldn't be champion.
But you keep telling yourself that.
What? He's the champ.
But anyway. him winning the title kind of opens up the door for Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. Honestly. Because Seth Rollins now, in the Royal Rumble, been built up quite impressively as a favorite to win. And if he would have won the IC strap, would have been a guaranteed loss of the Royal Rumble matchup. So that makes it more unpredictable. Dean Ambrose. Now look, we all know he's not winning the Royal Rumble, but he still has some high stock in the WWE. And with him not having the IC strap, gives a little more unpredictability. And some of the eyes of the fans that are not watching the product every single week.
The product.
Jason, funny. A moment with bliss. Now, this was about more than just Paul Heyman.
Yeah, it is.
This was about the Women's Tag Team Championship. And when it's going to be announced, where it's going to be claimed. And the fans wasn't overly receptive of it. Now, nothing against Memphis, Tennessee, but I'm sure this does have something.
You're not friends against Memphis, are you?
No, but Memphis, Tennessee, the fans in Memphis are not a smart Mark fans.
Webby, that is not very nice. Let's say that.
They're not, your New York or Chicago fans.
Yeah.
Who are going to boo or cheer on absolutely everything. They kind of sat on their hands for that one.
Why do they do that for? Their hands cold?
But it's a figure of speech.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, so with them announcing this and it taking place at the Elimination Chamber, and it's actually being inside the chamber. 6 women, 6 tag teams, 3 from Raw and 3 from SmackDown. And it's very hard for me to talk to you about this.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here you go. Like, had it backwards. Sorry.
6 tag teams, 3 from Raw and 3 from SmackDown. Right?
Right.
And it's taking place inside the chamber.
Jail cell.
Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
And winner of that matchup will be the inaugural Women's Tag Team Champion.
Yes.
Honestly, I like the fact that it's taking place at the Elimination Chamber event.
Uh-huh.
I am not a fan of it taking place at inside the chamber.
Why is that? You want outside the chamber?
It would have been nice if they're going to have this, and I know we are sick and tired of seeing tag team matches. Right?
Right.
But if you're going to have the tag team championships on the line, right?
On the line. Yep.
Inaugural tag team titles. Have tournament leading up to leading up to Elimination Chamber for the next 5 weeks.
Yeah.
And then at the Chamber, you have that last match to determine who's it's very hard for me to talk to you about this.
Oh, I'm trying to be serious.
To determine who's the tag team champions. What do you think?
I think it's really good that the women are finally getting their own tag team championship belts.
Now, why do you think that?
Because it's about time that we make the women equal. All right? And it's too bad that Vince didn't pay them all the same as they do the men. But it's time for the women to be equal in society.
They've been getting a lot of that. They've been getting a lot of that on WWE television.
Yeah, it should. Yeah. I just wonder if they make the same as the men. But anyway.
Well, I don't know about contracts and all that stuff. But anyway. So then Paul Heyman came out, did his shtick like he always does.
Yes, he's good at stick.
And then Heavy Machinery debuted. And Heavy Machinery, and you look like you're going to sleep.
It's really weird. Oh, that's why it was so dark in here. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was wondering why. I thought the lights went out first.
And then Heavy Machinery.
Yeah, Heavy Machinery.
Came out and was
mowed them on down.
was talking about how it was going all nuts because they were saying it was going all nuts over Alexa Bliss being hot. At least the bigger one was.
Oh,
pretty girl, pretty girl, pretty girl, pretty girl.
Boy, now you get some new glasses or something. Paul. Anyway. What?
And then, of course, I wanted to hear your opinion on this. Finn Balor being number one contender for the Universal Championship.
Well, it's about cotton picking time. I mean, my gosh. How long was they going to hold him back? You got a world-class athlete, Class A, comes back from an injury after winning the belt and was promised a really good title reign and got injured and comes back and they put him aside because they got a UFC guy that wants to be champion all the time. And he defends the belt, every once in a while. I mean, what kind of they don't mean no sense. I'd rather have a demon as a champion.
Do you think the demon's going to come back for the Royal Rumble? Because, quite frankly, I would rather see this on the headline. Demon versus the Beast, rather than see another David versus Goliath type scenario.
I think the demon needs to come out, but not announce himself if he's coming out as the demon or not for surprise factor. But I really don't think Finn Balor has much of a hope or a chance of anything unless he brings out the demon, because at least it will maybe even up, because Finn is a small guy, so we gotta equal the playing field. And by him coming out as a demon, I think that will equal, and it would make a lot more exciting because he performs at his best as the demon. He pulls out all the stops, and you see how unbelievable of an athlete this small guy is for wrestler. He's a small guy.
You were about to say midget, weren't you?
No, he's not a midget, but for a wrestler, he's in good shape and everything. But for a wrestler, he's small compared to most wrestlers, you know. I mean, not to me or you, but I mean, you know, but bringing out the demon brings out his best. I've seen some great performances from him in the ring when he puts on that weird makeup stuff. But I mean, it looks kind of ugly when he puts it on. But I mean, you know, but he is supposed to be a demon, I guess. It's not supposed to be.
So, with that being said, anything else you want to add?
Nope.
No?
Just Jason Funny, almost live with Jason Funny channel, 42 channel.
So, don't forget to subscribe to that channel. Hope you enjoyed this review. Ranted quite a bit on this.
Yes, you did. I mean, yeah.
Because, quite frankly, I don't care if they change the Intercontinental Championship. I don't care about any of that jazz that they did. The fact of the matter is, there's still zero change in the WWE. I'm happy that we are seeing Finn Balor in the main event of the Royal Rumble against Brock Lesnar, but there is still no change in the WWE right now, especially on Monday Night Raw. And until I see you again, catch you on the other side.